Okay, team, hey, here's a little bit more help with your 3.1 assignments. So, just revisiting some terms that I talked about a little bit in my last video. Um, so, here are two words that are very, very important for you to know. And those words are supplementary and complementary. Now, both of these types of angles you could say are adjacent, and adjacent just means they're side by side. So you can see A and B, these angles are right next to each other. A and B, these angles are right next to each other. So we call those adjacent. Now, complementary, you can see this is a right angle. So it's usually pretty intuitive to look at A and B and realize, oh, hey, both of those angles make up a 90-degree angle. If you look really closely at supplementary angles, you can see that it's really just like two 90-degree angles side by side. So for supplementary, they add up to 180 degrees. So the other way I think about it is if two angles make up a perfectly straight line, then I know they have to add up to 180 degrees. So anyway, these two terms, very important to know. Supplementary and complementary. All right. Now, two other terms very important to know are these vertical angles here. How do I get that to go away? Disappear. There we go. Go away. Get out of here. There we go. So vertical angles, these are just angles that are directly across from each other if you're at an intersection. Now, what you don't see right now is angle C and D, but just as a little revisiting the last slide, like angle A right here, and let's call this angle C. Do you see how those are adjacent angles? So this whole angle right here is 180 degrees. So I just thought I'd reinforce that from my last video. Angles that are adjacent, that are side by side, add up to 180 degrees. Anyway, but vertical angles is when they're directly across from each other, and those angles are congruent. They are the same. Now, corresponding angles are also congruent. They are the same angle measure, and if you look really closely, you can kind of see that. Like, doesn't this little acute angle, doesn't it look like it's the same measure as angle B down here? And it turns out that they are. So when you have parallel lines and a transversal, those corresponding angles are congruent. Now, there's other pairs of corresponding angles in this little picture, like this spot right here. This angle is corresponding to this angle right here. They are corresponding. The other way I identify corresponding angles is by looking at the two different intersections and the top left angles. See how those are both in the top left? Those are corresponding. The top right, like our example here, those are corresponding angles. They are the same. All right, and there is just two more, and these are just tricks. These are very helpful tricks, and your assignment may want you to use these terms from time to time, and that's alternate interior and alternate exterior angles. And these angles are also congruent. And this is pretty intuitive. The word interior just means inside the parallel lines. Exterior means outside the parallel lines, which we can see here. A and B, they're both on the inside. Alternate just means on opposite sides of the transversal. So we call A and B alternate interior. So if you happen to know what angle A is, then you know that its alternate interior is the same. They are congruent. And that's the same thing with alternate exterior. Exterior on the outside, alternate on opposite sides of the transversal. All right. Okay, team. Yes, there we go. Helpful terms for angles for 3.1. Thanks for playing. Bywater out.